Hey there, Bears fans. Will DeWitt and Nicholas Moreano here for CHGO, and we are making the case heading into the 2023 NFL Draft for the Chicago Bears. Before we get to today's player, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss any of our Bears content all off season long. But let's go ahead and get into it. Let's make the case for an edge defender. Let's look at Will McDonald IV out of Iowa State. He had 36 tackles, 7.5 for loss, and 5 sacks last season. He's 31st on PFF's Top 150 and 56th on Mock Draft Database. Nick, I'm going to go over to you. When I see Will McDonald, the one thing that stands out to me is just like the motor that this guy plays with.
No doubt about that, Will. There was a game against TCU where Iowa State's down 55-14 in the fourth quarter. You wouldn't know that based off of how Will McDonald was rushing the quarterback. It was like it was a 0-0 game in the first quarter. He just bring it every single play, and you appreciate that about any defender who's willing to put the effort in the pass rush, stopping the run, and just doing that consistently throughout an entire game, despite what the score is. But that effort really shows up on tape.
And what I like is his speed rushing ability, the ability to get off that snap in a hurry. And that quick first step is a big problem for opposing tackles. He's able to kind of get some of that leverage right away off of the snap and blow by, and he has a decent bend to get after QBs.
Yeah, and I think Will McDonald made himself some money at the Senior Bowl. He showed that twitchiness that you want to see at the edge rusher position, especially just on the get off. Also, he had some quick spin moves and closing speed. So he's an athletic edge rusher that, again, you want to see what an NFL team could do with him, but you saw that twitchiness, and he had some pretty consistent practices when he was down there in Mobile, Alabama.
And when you just look at the physique, he has the natural length that you're looking for. That's not really going to be a concern for him, but what does concern me, he has the length, but does he have that top end strength? Because when you watch him, double teams are able to be like enough to just simply stop him. And on top of that, too, he just needs to be a little bit stronger at the point of attack, at least for me.
I think, too, for Will McDonald, he has a frame to do so. I think he just needs to add a little bit more weight, so when he does face some of these double teams, he's not just getting completely taken out of a play, or just maybe, again, it's going to come to recognizing where these double teams are coming from, but adding a little bit more weight plus the strength will go a long way to helping him as a prospect to be a more all-around edge rusher.
Does the dip in production this past season concern you? He had 5.5 less tackles for a loss and 6.5 fewer sacks than he did a year ago.
I mean, I think you got to see why. Why did this end up happening? Are more teams, again, more aware of who Will McDonald is as a pass rusher? He has a lot of experience at Iowa State, so that could be a reason why. But I think, too, again, that credit to the other teams, like we need to try to take this player out of the equation and maybe just give him a little bit more help to his side now.
Let's go ahead and make the case for the Bears. Obviously, the Bears just need edge defenders. I think that's first and foremost. And on top of that, too, Will McDonald, you mentioned the experience, 50 career games played. That should allow him to come in and I think make an impact pretty quickly. And we already mentioned some of the pluses with his ability to kind of get off the football. That explosiveness is something the Bears are lacking too. So I can see them definitely wanting to bring that in.
Yeah, and you're bringing in an experienced guy with a team that's going to have opportunities for you to compete to get a lot of playing time at the edge rusher position. So it makes sense for why the Bears would want to invest, a higher round pick into a guy like this.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this video. That was making the case for Will McDonald IV out of Iowa State. We'll be back with another prospect here soon. In the meantime, subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss that video and all of our other Bears content all season long.